Wakey, wakey, hands off Snakey. Get your lazy ass out of, well,
Get your drunk ass?
yeah, I shouldn't say lazy because it's the weekend. You probably maybe don't have to work, but still, that's no excuse for what you did last night. Every week.
Do you really need an excuse to do what they did last night?
Well, I'm thinking about more what he did when he got home after the rejection.
Blah.
Yeah. And of course, what he did with his right hand or a left hand if you're like Boomer Esiason and you're a lefty, you know.
Or maybe you just want to mix it up.
Wow, ambidextrous masturbation. Wow, there's a new one for you. Let's look that one up in the Urban Dictionary. That's your Uncle Dave, the conquistador, Dave Height.
That's your Uncle Kev, the maestro Kevin Crane.
What a way to start off your weekend edition. Saturday morning here. March the 1st, 2025.
It is Sports Frenzy 2.0, your politically incorrect pop culture commentary and Saturday morning hangover cure. You know you're taking the aspirin, getting the coffee brewing, firing up the stove, getting the eggs and bacon rolling.
And we're here to get you through it. Make sure you don't make the same mistake.
Dude, you've been making the same damn mistake for the last 3 damn years that we've been getting you through this.
So what we do is we give you the best politically incorrect commentary reviews in rock and roll, TV and streaming, movies, books. We got it all for you this week. But I am very proud to say, as we start off as always with rock and roll,
the debut of our new segment, Cassette Classics.
Yes, with the fact that these artists, the new artists, don't want to give us enough new music to review. That means we're going to, God damn it, we're going to go back in time and we're going to find the old stuff that we overlooked, the gems.
Nice back in time Huey Lewis reference, by the way.
Maybe we need to do a Huey Lewis album. It's all up for grabs. But your Uncle Dave came up with this fantastic moniker, Cassette Classics. I would like to think we came up with the idea together.
Yep, but we had to get a name.
Yep, and he came up with the best name absolutely possible. And he came up with the first album that we will be reviewing here under our new moniker, Cassette Classics.
Unfortunately, it was tragedy that kind of led to this one. Harkening back, it kind of developed with Vince Neil's jet crashing. And it harkened back to the time when he crashed his car, unfortunately killing Razzle, a member of Hanoi Rocks.
And Hanoi Rocks at that time was just on the upswing, really starting to take off.
It was right as they were launching to be the hair metal band that was going to take on the world.
Yep. Now they are out of Finland, and again, they had the connections obviously to the Sunset Strip, but they were kind of outsiders.
Yeah.
And so they never really took off the way that bands like Rat and Motley Crue did. But they were very close. And as Dave said, back in 1984?
Yeah, right around
when
there.
This album came out, Ultimate Classic Rock this past week said they are one of the 8 bands from this era they would put into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That should tell you the influence that this band had. So,
short-lived as it was,
we picked the album right before the untimely death of Razzle. This is, again, when they were on the ascent. They were on the upswing, 2 steps from the move. That is our first inaugural.
Sadly, that's kind of a fortuitous title because they were 2 steps from the move to the top.
Yep. But our first cassette classics review. 10 songs. Now, I will tell you this. I will give you a little bit of a inkling as to my review. Very, very great songs. But a lot that I didn't like. So,
it's kind of a mixed bag with this album.
I will say there are 4 songs that I loved on this album, and then the rest were kind of floating in between.
Yeah.
Now, I will say that I don't know if I like the choice of the old CCR song, Up Around the Bend, as the lead-off track, but that was what the hair metal bands did back then.
Right. You had a cover.
Right. You had Motley Crue doing Smoking in the Boys' Room.
Van Halen had their run of covers. Everybody has done a cover.
Right. So it wasn't that outrageous, but I will just say...
Poison had Your Mama Don't Dance.
Right. Great call. But this was not one that would have set them apart. So I questioned that as the first song. And then High School, the second song. The problem I had with Hanoi Rocks, listening to the whole album, very schizophrenic.
They were all over the board on this one.
Sometimes they sounded like they wanted to be the Sex Pistols. Sometimes they sounded like they wanted to be Poison.
Yeah, you had the hair influence, and then you had the punk influence.
And then, again, they're from Finland, and I think you guys needed...
you get the
thick British accent.
The British accent coming through. Where the hell does that come in?
Yes, especially towards the end of the album.
Yeah, there's a couple of songs where you get just the speech through the song, like, why? There's no point to it.
Right. And maybe we're finding out why they never
hit the top
big
echelon.
But I will say this. Tracks 3 and 4, I Can't Get It, in Underwater World.
Those
phenomenal.
Great.
Phenomenal songs.
Yeah. I didn't mind Up Around the Bend. I liked the quicker beat that they put to it.
Right.
So that was decent.
No,
I'm questioning it being the first, if it was down lower, better place.
Yes. Yes.
But no, I Can't Get It and Underwater World were phenomenal.
Those were the types of songs where when I heard those, I was like, this is the band that they were hearing.
Yeah.
When everybody said, Hanoi Rocks is going to be the next great band. Because I Can't Get It, classic.
Good stuff.
Tempo changes, great guitar, and then Underwater World.
Kind of just different.
Yes, but in a good way.
In a good way. Kind of not quite a blues, but a blues. It's hard to describe.
Yep. Yeah, and the lyrics, of course, talking about people living underground and...
Yeah. So good.
But the problem is the album doesn't sustain that momentum.
No, then you got the, really, Don't You Ever Leave Me. And that's where you get the weird talking bit in there.
That's your power ballad.
And it's a weak power ballad.
Yes. Yep. And then I thought it got worse with Million Miles Away.
Yeah, that was just not a good
Probably my least favorite song on the album.
Yeah.
Boulevard of Broken Dreams is good.
That was another very good, enjoyable tune.
That was a solid 80s hair metal song.
Yes.
That's all that was.
Yeah.
And that's fine. We'll take that, and we love that.
Yeah. I did really enjoy Boiler as well.
No, I didn't.
No? You didn't like the punky feel to that one?
No, because that's where I was like... They're trying to sound too British. They're trying to sound too much like The Clash or the Sex Pistols.
Yeah. See, now I kind of dug that one.
I didn't like it. Didn't like it at all. and I didn't like Futurama.
It was
I think
there was just something missing from it.
Futurama was a lot of decent pieces that never gelled.
Yeah, it felt like an unfinished piece.
Yeah. Now, Cutting Corners, great song.
Cutting Corners was very good.
At least the chorus, very catchy.
Yeah.
But you had saxophone in Million Miles Away, and you had horns in Cutting Corners. Don't really know if we ever heard Motley Crue or Poison using horns.
No.
In
there
any
were
of their
no
songs.
horns in there.
So again, this Hanoi Rocks strikes me as they were trying to throw everything and anything they could at the wall to see what stuck.
Yeah.
Between the fake British accents, the horns, the
bad.
saxophone, you've got punk stuff, you've got obvious hair metal power ballads.
Weak power ballads. Powerless ballads.
You could hear the potential.
Yeah, it was there.
But I also understand why they never hit it big. Is because they just tried to do too much. Cover songs,
they did
everything.
not have a producer that could hone in on what they did well.
Yeah, they needed somebody to focus them. And
they needed a Mutt Lange.
Ted Templeman, yeah.
So those are the two
great
guys.
Producers.
Yeah, they needed that great producer to focus them in.
Yep. So 2 steps from the move, our initial review on Cassette Classics. I am going to give it a week, 2.5. So I will give it the barest of I can't recommend it. I can't.
This one I can't quite recommend either. I'm right there with you at the week 2.5.
Yep.
Now, I did listen to some of the stuff off their other albums. Like you said, there's a lot of potential with this band, but they did not have the right producer.
And we don't know what would have happened to them if they'd been able to continue on.
Yeah, because once Razzle died, that killed the band. That was it.
Yep. And what Michael Monroe went on and really didn't achieve a lot of success on his own, the lead singer, but they had the look, they had the sound. It's obvious to me they had the chops, but
they didn't have,
like you said, they didn't have somebody to focus them and give them the direction they needed.
Yeah.
Which
is sad.
2 Steps from the Move is very close to being a great album.
Yeah, they just needed somebody who could have polished it for them.
Yep. But very happy that we delved into this, because we've got to find these albums.
There's enough in there that got me listening to their earlier stuff.
Yep, we've got to get into these old albums, these influential albums that a lot of people might say are great, that maybe you and I missed.
Yep. So we've got you covered.
And Dave is teasing me off mic. He said he and his wife came up with one, but they can't remember it.
I forgot to write it down, and we were going through so much damn stuff, from the yacht rock version of Crazy Train to the metal version of Hello. So it was a weird, wild, kooky weekend.
And then I had to expose him recently here to the 40s big band sound of the Van Halen debut album.
Yeah, Van Halen.
Yeah. So, we're doing all sorts of crazy, kooky stuff here. But great first start for Cassette Classics. Probably a couple weeks away from doing another one.
Yep. So we've got you covered.
We have got a lot of new songs for next week to review. So that's what you have to look forward to next week here on Sports Frenzy 2.0, the weekend edition. Now we move on to TV and streaming. And of course, Reacher is back.
Prime dropped the first 3 episodes of season 3. Wow. Very good. I like the darker edge that Reacher is bringing to this one. I wasn't sure how they were going to pull it off.
This, of course, based on the book Persuader.
Yep.
Which, of course, I love the fact that they are taking every season, basing it on a Reacher book.
Yeah, 1 season, 1 story. That's the way it should be.
And I know you have some misgivings about what's coming in the future when it comes to the Reacher franchise.
That's what you get in this day and age.
Yeah. I have a ton of TV and streaming news we'll get to in a minute, and we can tie it all in together.
But so far, I'm loving this season of Reacher.
I am.
To some extent. I'm
not trying to... I know I sound terrible about this. I know I'm sounding like I'm not enthusiastic about this, and I shouldn't.
It's the female FBI agent, isn't it?
Oh, my God.
She's annoying as hell.
Is that the worst accent you've ever heard in your life?
The worst Boston accent ever.
Oh, my God.
Just stop already.
It's like fingernails on a chalkboard.
Oh.
And I know he's going to eventually screw her. He's going to fuck her brains out. That's fine. That's what Reacher does. He's a physical specimen. We get that. But oh my God.
She is annoying as hell.
Sorry, people of Boston. Your accent is annoying, but this woman
can't do it. No, she just can't do it.
Dave and I have both watched and loved many movies based in Boston. Gone, Baby, Gone. But the accents were nothing compared to this. She is like literally trying to...
She's trying too damn hard.
Pull my eardrums out of my head with... Oh my God. I mean, when they finally have sex, reach deeper,
reach deeper.
Oh my God, I'm going to have to mute the TV like I was watching a football game with Tony Romo, for the love of God. I can't take her. And
well, you would, but...
she's very attractive.
But just the accent is horrendous.
It's the worst Northeast accent ever. Ever.
The only thing worse was Costner playing Robin Hood.
Yeah, that was bad. That was bad. We're going back how many decades
I know.
for that one? The one thing I will say, that I want to give credit to Alan Rickson, even though I know in real life he's an absolute jackass. The thing I liked about his performance over the first 3 episodes is you can tell. Now, you and I read the book, so we kind of knew what was going on. When he's play acting, when he's performing as opposed to being himself, I love Rickson actually acting a little bit stiff and uncomfortable when he's performing versus when he's actually him.
Yeah. The uncomfortableness that it's
you should get in the car with me so I can protect you. And people could look at that and go, that's terrible acting. No, it's Reacher doesn't know how to act other than himself. And he's been put in this position where he has to pretend to be somebody
he's not.
To get inside a criminal organization.
Yeah. And then you see him as himself later on when he's protecting the kid for real.
Right. So, very, very good outside of the, oh my God, just literally, I literally got a headache from her.
I know.
Literally got a headache from her.
I know.
Richa.
I cringe when I see her appear on the screen.
Why should I believe anything you say, Richa?
I cringe before she opens her mouth.
That's what he said.
But
But otherwise, yeah, it's a very intriguing story. Do you want to give the kids now the update?
Yeah, because a very minor character in the Reacher world has been thrust upon everything. There was really only one where she played a major role, and that's Neagley. She wasn't in the first one, Killing Floor. She wasn't in this one, in Persuader, but yet they're working her in because she's a fan favorite now. You have to push an agenda. You have to have a strong female character, and oh, now it's official. Neagley Season 1 is in production. Neagley doesn't have a series.
And I don't understand how you can take a character,
Very minor.
a character who admittedly is emotionally detached. So you're going to take a character who has very little emotional range, doesn't like to be touched, and you're going to make her the centerpiece of an ongoing series.
Eesh.
It's okay. We'll get back to this. We will get back to this. I have more on this. Now, you're not caught up on Tracker yet.
No,
which is
did
fine.
Not get. Finally got through episode 1 of Landman.
Let's go back to Tracker for a second. Got a couple things. One thing happy, one thing pisses me off. Happy thing, of course, you figured it was going to get renewed. So it's been renewed for season 3. Pissing me off, I heard only 4 more episodes left.
What? It was supposed to be a full fucking season.
Nope. Because I told you I was worried about the fact with CBS having the basketball tournament.
Those sons of bitches.
No.
Fuck you, CBS.
Yeah, they're saying maybe 14 episodes. No, we're not getting a full season like you and I, old school, would expect.
This is damn ridiculous. So stupid. I'm tired of this.
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you on Landman, but yeah, the whole thing with... I fucking knew it. The way they pushed the start of part 2 of this season to February, I'm like, come on. How many weeks have we got left with the basketball coming in? And CBS is going to bump it for 3 or 4 weekends now. No, now they're saying, no, it's not a full season.
I'm sick of the fucking networks.
Well, I'm sick of the fact they whine and they cry about, we don't have enough work to do. They're not giving... Then fucking do a full 22 fucking week episode season of these shows like you used to.
And stop doing the long hiatuses in between. Ugh.
They bitch and they piss and they moan about, we don't have enough work to do.
Oh, we don't have the ratings. We can't get anybody to watch. That's because you don't put any fucking content out. Ugh.
But good news, you said you started Landman.
Started Landman finally. Holy crap. Billy Bob Thornton is great. And what a fucking explosive ending to the first episode. All I'm going to say.
Yeah, you were exploding over Allie Larder.
I would have. She's hot. She is aging
and
very,
I told you
very
it's going to
well.
get better. It's going to get better for you.
She's pretty.
So this is what he does at the last second. He pulls out.
That's what she said.
He pulls out, and right when I was going to say, do I just get to review Landman on my own? Nope, we started it.
But you'll have to probably finish it next week. I don't know how quickly we'll get through this one. We'll see.
We'll see. I will give you a reprieve for a couple weeks.
So
before I forget exactly what the hell happened
going on
outside of Allie Larder's spectacular body.
Yeah. Did you start Dark Winds?
Yes, I did. I know you're ahead of me on this. I did start it. I apologize because I mentioned when I initially watched the first season, I said something about a crack house. And I meant the hotel room where the witness
Yeah.
got killed along with the young girl. That's what I meant. So I did go back and rewatch that. So I've got it going. I'm working on it. I will get there.
All right.
I promise you I will
did finish season 1.
So you and I, my Landman is your Dark Winds.
That's right. There we go.
So I am working on Dark Winds.
I love that Dark Winds is taking place in the early 70s.
Yes.
Very
And
cool.
that's another one. Dark Winds has been renewed for season 4 already.
And season 3 hasn't even hit yet.
Ahead of season 3.
Love it. I love the characters.
Yes. Anytime, Dave and I will tell you, and I've got news coming up. A lot of news. You take these characters from these great literary series. Of course, Dark Winds comes from Tony Hillerman's Lee Porn and Chi series. We love this stuff. Reacher comes from Lee Child.
Yep.
These are ready-made stories that we have never been able to figure out why these streaming services or these networks haven't pounced on.
I know. What was it?
Still don't understand how there's now an Alex Delaware series out there. How is there not?
What was it? Hap and Leonard was almost the first one of the first ones to really delve in and take a book and make it a series, limited run, 6 episodes from Joe Lansdale.
Yep.
Got, 3 seasons out of that?
Yeah, and you can't even find the second and the third.
Yeah, which is sad. Those were so frickin' well done.
Yep. Again, based on the books, too.
Yep. Yeah.
You base them on the books.
You let the book... You have a ready-made script from the book for a season.
Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
Unless he's Japanesey.
You racist bastard.
But he's not if he's Japanesey.
But even with Dave Robichaux.
Yeah,
the two movies.
They couldn't get that.
You had Heaven's Prisoners and you've got In the Electric Mist. But you can't do a TV series. I don't understand why not. And nobody will touch Cleet. Nobody will take on Cleet.
Yeah, why? You talk about the secondary character that's
or
strong.
Elvis Cole and Joe Pike.
My God. Yeah, hit
which we'll
Robert
talk about
Crais
later.
Coming up. Ugh. So frustrating. So many damn good book series out there.
Yep. And then finally, TV and streaming.
If they do it right, if they cast them correctly.
Yeah, which means Dave and I have to take over, and we have to run fucking everything. But I did start The White Lotus. First 2 episodes of season 3. I've knocked them out. Not a lot to report yet, but it's the typical first scene. Somebody's dead. And then they have to go back in time to the beginning of the week.
1 week earlier.
Yes. To find out what's going on.
How
and
it all leads
who's
up.
dead. We don't know who's dead. Very interesting, weird stuff going on here. We might have incest involved. So, involving Arnold's kid, Patrick Schwarzenegger. You know. So, I will give you guys an update.
What was that? Arnold and Patrick? What? Sorry. I misheard that.
But I will give you an update as we go through season 3 of The White Lotus. And wrestling news, of course. Have to have a little bit. WrestleMania 42 will not be in Indianapolis. David?
Those bastards pulled out.
So I'm assuming 27 will be Indy? They promised us WrestleMania.
In Indy.
WrestleMania 42 in 2026 will be in New Orleans. But we were promised Indianapolis. Better be fucking 2027. Of course, next week I will give you my full review of Elimination Chamber this coming Saturday. Today!
As you
Tonight.
listen to this.
March the 1st, tonight. I believe it's in Canada.
Canada?
Yeah. Where hopefully all Americans will boo the national anthem of Canada. All right, let's get into some news because this is where we're going to have some fun. Tons and tons of entertainment news before we get into our featured book and movie reviews of the week. Dave, you remember we reviewed Secret Level?
Yes.
Amazon Prime, all
Yep.
those different short animated. Well, Netflix has now committed to a live action feature film based on the one that we like the most, Sifu.
Really?
Yeah, that second one,
Yeah, with the
martial arts, where the guy, if he loses a life, ages but comes back. They're gonna do a feature-length movie.
I'm kind of digging that.
I am as well. We loved Extraction. Remember that?
Yes.
1
Extraction
and 2.
and Extraction 2, yes.
This kind of ties into what we were talking about with stop. Expanding the universe.
Oh, God.
Well, they're expanding the Extraction universe. So we're getting an 8-episode series in the Extraction universe, but no Hemsworth.
Not at all. Not even a small little appearance.
No.
Because I think even we're even getting Keanu Reeves in the ballerina. At least.
Right. No. Omar Sy will be some kind of an operative in the Extraction universe. But no Chris Hemsworth involved. So what's the point? Again, these companies are so stupid where they keep stretching things out. And like you said with Reacher and Neely, well, we gotta take advantage. You destroy the core part that got you where you wanted to be with the success and the viewers. And then you just destroy it. It's like when they had Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? And they had it on one night. And it did really well.
And then let's do it every night of the week.
And how long did that last?
Not very damn long.
Pisses me off when they do this. Now, Dave and I, again, we read a lot of books. Here's some good news. Jeremy Logan, character from Lincoln Childs.
Yes.
A feature film is in development from Amazon and MGM Studios.
Which one?
They have not said if it's going to be one of the books or a standalone new story.
They better damn well pick one of the books.
This would have been better for me if they said it was going to be a series.
I would have preferred
a movie. I don't like a movie.
Movies are too chopped up. They don't do justice to the character and the storyline.
Yep. Yeah. I would have liked to have seen them do this as a series, kind of like Reacher. Chrysalis, we reviewed that a couple of years ago. Chrysalis would have been cool as an 8-episode series.
Yeah. All I can say is they better get his car right. He better be driving the Lotus.
We shall see. We shall see. Now, of course, you and I love The Boys. And we have got confirmation of a
He's
supernatural...
bringing them all back together, baby.
A supernatural reunion for Season 5. It has been confirmed.
Kripke's bringing them all back.
Jared Padalecki and Misha Collins will both be back for Season 5.
They will be joining Ackleson and Dean. Oh my God, this is beautiful.
Yep.
We knew it was eventually going to happen.
Now, some bad news for me, personally. I know you're not as much into the superhero stuff as I am, but Disney and Marvel fucking everything up, as they always do.
Yep.
Of course, Captain America, the new movie.
Fizzled badly.
Yes. And now they have shut down not one, not two, but 3 series. They've said they're pausing Nova, which the one that kills me because I love Nova. Nova, Strange Academy, which of course was Doctor Strange.
Right.
Having young magicians. And then Terror Incorporated. All have been paused. Good news is that, I don't know if it's really good news, but it's kind of good news.
Kevin Feige's being pushed aside finally.
No, but Rob Liefeld has come out and said that he should go
he
away.
Has failed miserably after Endgame.
They're saying that the Punisher is coming back. But, that's the good news. But, a one-off episode or movie on Disney. Yeah.
We fucking told you so. The rat was going to destroy Marvel. And they have.
They have. And it's all the PC bullshit. It's all the PC bullshit.
Outside of Guardians 3 and Wolverine Deadpool, or Deadpool Wolverine. Those are the only 2 that have succeeded.
And that's what everybody points out. Is that you look back over the last 5 years, and those are the only 2 movies that succeeded. Why? Because
they told Disney to fuck off. We're doing this our way.
Ryan Reynolds and James Gunn told Disney, if you want this, and you want to make money, we're going to do it our way. And all the other Disney movies, they did their way.
Okay, we'll do it the way you want to, Disney. Dirt.
And I'm telling you, I'm not a PC guy. I have been the one person who said, I understood them saying Sam Wilson, the Falcon, taking over as Captain America. That's the one move they made where I said, that came through the comics.
Right. This could be fine.
And people still don't like it because of the way
it's canon.
And then they got
to screw it up.
Then they got to bring in a Hispanic doofus to play the new Falcon. Why do you have to do that?
There's no point to it.
Then we have to have the Red Hulk. I mean,
why?
Everybody can see this is failing miserably.
Except them.
And you didn't make Pedro fucking Pascal shave his fucking mustache to be Reed Richards.
Shame on you.
It's like the NBA. You'll let the inmates run the asylum. But I digress. Okay. Dave will appreciate this. I hope you guys do as well. Not 1, not 2, but 3. This could be cool.
Suck it to me.
Not 1, not 2, but 3 classic TV series from Irwin Allen are in development as a connected, unified vision. We are talking about Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. The Time Tunnel
Oh, wow.
and Land of the Giants.
Holy crap. Seriously?
Akiva Goldsman is trying to take all three of these series, redevelop them for modern times, and have them connected.
That could be really cool.
Now, a lot of people point out, not a problem for me, but a lot of people point out Where's Lost in Space, which would be the fourth of those Irwin Allen classic TV shows.
Hold off.
Akiva Goldsman was responsible for the original movie that people didn't seem to like very much. I liked it. I thought it was okay.
It wasn't bad.
With William Hurt, Matt LeBlanc.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
So some people are saying, well, he already fucked that up, so that's why he's going after the other three.
He's learned his lesson.
I'm fine with this. I think
let's bring it.
This is one of those
cool.
bold moves that I want to see. You know?
Yeah, why not?
Please don't fuck it up. Please don't fuck it up.
Please don't.
I actually just went out and bought part 2 of season 1 of Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. I love all those. The one I can't get a hold of is Land of the Giants. You cannot get a hold of Land of the Giants anywhere.
Which is sad.
Guy Ritchie. We love Guy Ritchie. We're waiting for The Gentleman.
Season 2. When?
But in the meantime, we still have Paramount Plus, right?
Yep.
Coming March the 30th, Guy Ritchie's new series, starring Pierce Brosnan and Tom Hardy, Mobland, debuting on Paramount Plus. God help us, a Paramount Plus series that doesn't involve Taylor Sheridan.
What the fuck?
So, very excited about that. Now, some other news that most of us don't care about. Lester Holt done as the anchor of NBC Nightly News.
Okay.
I'm sure they'll blame that on Donald Trump.
Whatever. I guess he's still doing Dateline.
Yeah.
Whatever. Again, it's the news. I don't fucking care.
If you care about...
Oh, you talk about news. You know, Nora O'Donnell had done CBS's nightly news thing.
She's out too, right?
She's out. And they got the two biggest fucking doofuses co-anchoring. You have your black guy and your white guy alternating what they talking about, and they are so fucking lifeless. There's no chemistry there. It's pitifully bad.
Oh, and then everybody's up in arms about Joy Reid getting fired from CNBC.
Who cares?
Rachel Maddow does a 5-minute rant about it's terrible what we're doing, how we're treating these people with integrity in the news business.
Well, gee, Rachel, you have no integrity, which is probably why you're still there.
Yeah. If you're up for a serious movie based on news coverage, Paramount Plus again, as you're listening to this, it's out there right now. Depressing subject matter, I will admit it. September the 5th, which of course chronicles the news coverage of the Munich Olympics. Very depressing.
Yeah, because
subject.
we need to have more of that.
I think that's why. I think part of that is why it did not do as well in the Oscar nominations.
Yeah.
It's just such depressing subject matter. Now we move on to the big topic, which I've been waiting to bounce off of Dave all week. As a segue, a little bit more comic book stuff. which will lead into this. Daniel Craig has announced he is out. He will not be playing Sergeant Rock in the upcoming DC movie.
Okay.
Throwing a monkey wrench into James Gunn's plans. Which I need this Superman movie better be fucking good. Coming this summer. It better be fucking good. Otherwise, they've ruined all of it. Marvel, DC, it's all done.
Yeah, this is the last hope.
But now, here's where...
Unless you go to the animated.
I don't like the animated.
I know you don't.
I think it's all boring. Very few exceptions. That's why I like Secret Level. Is different animation styles. Every 15 minutes you're switching.
Yeah, it's set for today's lack of attention.
Yeah, ADD.
Your ADD society.
But this is the topic now, talking about Daniel Craig. Now we move on to the big topic. Because you and I, we have all our lives been Bond guys.
Yep.
And now the news has come out that Amazon MGM Studios supposedly the number is $1 billion.
$1 billion.
Has taken over creative control of the James Bond franchise from the Broccoli family. And the rumors already starting that they're going to do an expanded universe.
Of course they are, because that's what they do.
We've already heard now from the likes of Timothy Dalton saying this is just sad.
Bond is Bond. That's it. You don't need anybody else.
I'm worried. I'm definitely worried about this.
What are we going to have a money penny? Are we going to focus on Q? What the fuck?
Yeah.
No.
What did they just do with Reacher? What did we just talk about?
Negley's spinoff, and she's such a... At least Q and Moneypenny appear in every damn book or story. They're solid characters. Negley is a blip in the Reacher book universe.
But they do this. This is what people are worried about. Amazon does this, and we're worried about not only the fact that Amazon expands these universes. Now, Bosch, to this point, worked out okay. But now, how do you feel about Renee Ballard?
Ballard is at least an established now lead character in a book series.
But I think people are looking at this as a Disney taking over Marvel thing. Disney took over Marvel, and we just discussed this. They've destroyed it. That's what people are scared about.
I can see Amazon destroying Bond in the same way.
Technically, they've already done it. They did a game show about it, basically. When they got in bed with the Broccolis, they did this little stupid game show.
Oh, yeah, that stupid fucking thing that was pathetically horrible.
And that was just a little taste of now what we're going to get. Maybe the Broccolis knew what they were doing when they killed off Bond. Maybe that was their way of saying, okay, we're done. We're out. And now let Amazon fuck it all up. I'm scared.
Don't like it.
I'm scared to
Don't like
death
it
of
at
this.
all.
Because once again, we're going to see one of the iconic characters in pop culture get destroyed. Yeah. And there's so few out there that maybe Batman hasn't been destroyed yet. Close.
Yet.
They tried. Joel
with...
Schumacher tried with Batman and Robin in the nipple suits. Thank God for Christopher Nolan.
Nolan saved Batman.
Yes. And Matt Reeves has done a great job. But beyond that...
No bueno.
All right, let's move the kids over to some literature. How about that? Let's talk
Sure.
books.
Let's bring out Robert Crais' newest Elvis Cole Joe Pike.
And again, we mentioned this, a series that somebody should be jumping on and making into a TV series, movie series.
Something.
Now, we never know how much the author, whatever he's got written into his contract, how much control he has over his characters. He can veto anything, everything.
Yeah. Or in the case of like Michael Connelly, where he's fully involved to make sure things go accordingly.
Right. So, Dave and I read, we have like a half dozen series. Dave and I read that we should, like John Sanford, James Lee Burke, Robert B. Parker. We have these series that we read.
Robert Cray, Jonathan Kellerman.
Right. So these series, he and I are simpatico on. We understand the characters. We've read all the books. And again, Robert Crais is one of the ones we've both read all the books. And we've seen the tempo shifts, the massive tempo shift.
The big swings from the lighthearted, fun-loving Elvis Cole from early on with the light, easy cases.
Of course, we always start off with the beginning, the monkey's raincoat.
Yep. And then you had the major dark turn, which almost destroyed Elvis in L.A. Requiem. And the long road back to almost to where he was is kind of the fun-loving guy.
Yep. And then you brought Joe Pike in as more of a 1A, 1B type character.
Yeah, he was just kind of in the background, and then you
like
started
Hawk
to see...
like Hawk to Spencer.
Yeah.
They've never made that Spencer and Hawk. It's always a Spencer novel.
Right.
But now
it's Elvis and Joe. And they alternate with the chapters now from their different perspective. Which I kind of like the way this works now a little bit post LA Requiem. Because in that going forward, Pike took on more of an active role in things.
I agree to a point.
This necessary.
This book, I don't think was a Joe Pike book.
No,
this should have been an Elvis Cole.
This was a straight. This harkened back to earlier, where it's Cole going through, and then Pike being there as backup.
Yeah, Pike didn't have a lot to do in this book. He was basically backup, observational, for better or for worse. But this was still an unbelievably depressing book.
Oh my God, this storyline was just heart-wrenching.
Yes. And you kind of knew where it was headed after the first 100 pages.
Yeah,
but you were hoping it wasn't going to go there.
Please don't let this be where it... Oh, shit, it is. And
then it got worse. And then it got worse.
But kind of early-ish on, I knew the last piece.
Yeah, I was hoping against hope that wasn't going to fall.
I
was hoping,
just kind of knew that that's where it was going to go.
Similar to, I know this is completely different review style type, but a couple months ago we reviewed Creature Commandos.
Right.
And I complained about the last episode where I thought they killed the one person who shouldn't have been killed. They killed the moral center.
Yeah.
And I almost felt like that's what
happened here.
Yes. I was like, why would you do this to us?
Why would you kill off the one character that actually had made a positive impact on both Elvis and Joe?
Yeah. Yeah. And it ripped my heart out. It destroyed me.
Yeah, that was bad.
Other than you kind of knew, like you said, where it was going to go otherwise.
But that one
But
piece.
I was not expecting that. Are you really going to do that to us too? On top of all the other trauma that we're going to have to deal with in this story.
And you could... Elvis always takes things to heart.
Yes.
This is the most emotion. This is the hardest, I think, he put Pike through the ringer with. That's the most emotion you've ever seen out of Joe Pike was in this book.
And still not very much.
And not very much, but it's still little, but what little was there was impactful.
Well, you could tell. You could tell that Joe cared.
Yeah.
And you could tell that Joe was wrapped up in the whole thing, but he's got a limited emotional range.
Right, because of his life experiences.
Right. Part of my problem with the book was we had to, again, this is a tough review for me because it is an emotionally wrenching book. Very well done.
Oh, it's...
Robert Crais always is just...
He is a great author. He sets the story...
It takes him a while to put a book out, usually 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, but when he does, they are very good.
My problem with this book was it was... I don't want to say stop, start, but you have all this time, the downtime with what Elvis is going through physically.
Right.
You get massive traumatic scenes, and then you've got a long layoff, and then you got massive traumatic scenes, and then a layoff. And like we've talked about, you and I kind of could tell where part of the story was going from the beginning, which is a very dark, awful place.
Yeah.
And then they compile it when they throw a curveball at you, saying, no, don't do that to us, don't do that to us. And they do it to us.
Did it to us.
So that reminds me again of L.A. Requiem, where I don't know what happened with Robert Crais, where he lost his...
What trauma did Crais go through where he lost his light-hearted, jovial background?
Exactly. He went from, half a dozen books where you had the lighthearted Elvis Cole, and he would joke around and play almost like an Archie McNally type character, and bring Joe Pike in when he needed some help and some muscle. And then L.A. Requiem, like you said, hit. And then after that, it's just been dark stuff. Every topic is, sex trafficking or child abuse or serial killers.
Just, we need a light-hearted at some point.
I don't think he's ever going to go back, though.
We're not going to.
I think it's too far gone now. And that's not to ridicule the books. They're great. They're phenomenal, but it's such a gut-wrenching turn of emotion from what they were to what they are now.
Yeah. But at least Elvis still has a sense of humor when answering the phone. Elvis Cole Detective Agency, our dicks are tough.
But see, you used to get that and more.
Yeah, there was always more.
It used to be his interactions with people were like that.
Yeah.
And...
they're few and far between now.
I mean, Spencer's got more of a sense of humor than he does now. And it's just... I'm not trying to be negative. I'm not. I will give The Big Empty a strong 3. Frenzies.
Very strong 3. But
I just can't overlook.
Or is Crais just taking on what the world has become?
I know. It's just so overwhelmingly negative now with these books that the different authors, again, that we read, we're going to review the latest Jonathan Kellerman in a couple weeks. The new Alex, those are procedurals. Those are dark.
They're dark by nature.
But it's like a Law and Order series.
Yeah.
Somebody's
dead. We know what we're going to get out of these.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4 people dead. We're going to look at the clues. We're going to look at the witnesses. We're going to look at the suspects, and we're going to figure it out. But with Elvis Cole and Joe Pike, those characters are so much.
They've been put through
colorful.
the ringer and back.
You have better personalities. I honestly, to this day, don't really care about Alex Delaware or Milo Sturgis. Just, I know they are vehicles to get us from point A to point B. But I care about Elvis Cole.
Like Elvis Cole or Spencer.
Yes.
Or Robichaux.
I care about them. I don't want them to go through the ringer.
But that's, by putting them through the ringer like that humanizes them and makes you relate to them more.
Right, and that's why I love them more as characters.
Yes.
But it does hurt in a book like this, and I do pine for the old days with the Monkey's Raincoat and, Indigo Slam, Voodoo River, those great early books where it was a lot more lighthearted and a lot more fun.
Yeah.
And maybe that I miss Archie McNally. Maybe
that
I miss.
Could be the old Lawrence Sanders.
We don't have
character.
any of those anymore. Now you read Janet Ivanovich, so maybe that's a little bit more lighthearted.
They are.
But I don't have that anymore. I don't have any lighthearted. It's all dark, gloom and doom crap that just wears on you. I miss the old Elvis Cole. I just do.
Yeah.
As solid and as good as the current books are.
It's the dark turn they've taken. Just, it wears.
Yeah.
It wears on you.
But again, solid 3 for me.
Solid 3. So it was very good, even though it was so heart-wrenching.
And maybe that's why it was good, is that...
Maybe.
Even though it's heart-wrenching, it's done well. It's done well.
But it has a positive end. Okay, so now we've got the movie review you've been waiting for here on Spotify, Good Pods, Pocket Casts, Apple, Overcast, CastBox, Amazon, Audible, and iHeart Sports Frenzy, baby.
Otherwise known as, of course, iHeartRadio. Don't forget to check out the Facebook page for links to each and every episode of the Weekend Edition.
Including our Sports Edition, your politically incorrect sports commentary that drops on Thursday mornings. Don't forget that one, kids.
Okay, I have a feeling we are going to have a massive disagreement
We could
on
possibly...
our movie review.
Nosferatu, dropping on Peacock last weekend.
The extended cut, I don't know what the regular cut is. I've had this issue before. I mean, when I get a Blu-ray, I will watch the full, uncut version of movies.
Yeah, we want the whole thing to see.
And of course, I don't really go to the theaters anymore. Yeah, hate people. I don't want to deal with them.
There's very few that I want to go to.
I don't care about the specialty movie popcorn buckets or any of that crap. So, interesting that Peacock put out this extended cut of Nosferatu. Of course, there is the original going all the way back.
1922.
I am not exaggerating. Yes, back to the beginning of motion
film.
pictures. And then, of course, in the 70s, we had the Klaus Kinski version. And now we get to the Robert Eggers version of Nosferatu. I loved it.
It was too damn slow and too damn long.
Here's the thing. Visually, it was so amazing to me that I was caught up in the camera angles and the transition from black and white to color, and there was overacting. Lily Rose Depp goes a little bit too far with the whole hysterical.
Oh my God.
But I thought Willem Dafoe was great.
Oh, Dafoe was fantastic. I wasn't impressed with the portrayal of Nosferatu.
I loved it. See, I loved it. I thought he was
Eh.
great.
It was all right. I did not. It didn't resonate with me.
See, I liked it. I did. I was not expecting a lot. I will say this. I came in with low expectations. And this exceeded by far what I was expecting. Again, visually, unbelievably stunning to me.
Yeah. I had no expectations for it, and I was left underwhelmed.
I thought the scenes where Nosferatu, again, you have the traditional, what we've been force-fed of what a vampire is supposed to, and the fact that he, in this movie, he has to clamp onto your heart.
Yeah, that was a nice little change of pace.
Suck. I mean, you could see him obviously in multiple scenes.
Yeah, putting the effort in.
Yes, he's not sticking to the neck. I mean, he is tearing out the blood from the heart itself.
Yeah,
was fantastic.
That
visually,
was a nice little change of
visually
pace.
To me, fantastic. But overall, I thought it was a great movie. I did. I thought it was a great movie.
It was all right. I was very,
Yeah,
like I said,
when
underwhelmed.
You said,
I don't care.
Nosferatu, don't.
Yeah, I was disappointed with it.
Oh, I hate to hear that. I thought it was much better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, it was worse than I had expected.
Well, I give it a strong 3.
I'll give it a weak 2.
Wow. Here you go, kids. Mark this one down. One of the few times your Uncle Dave and I completely different on our reviews.
Yeah, it did not. No, there wasn't enough.
You know
there
who agrees with you? Your niece.
God help me.
Yep.
The one who loved.
Yeah, you and
the one who loved when the TV closed.
Yeah,
bullshit.
I was gonna say you two need to sit down, have some popcorn,
God.
and watch another viewing of I Saw the TV Glow.
Hell no, that was even worse.
I just thought this was great. For some reason, it connected with me.
Did nothing for me. I love the original. This added nothing for me.
I don't know. It really hit me. It just
there you go.
Struck a chord with me.
It happens.
Again, there are moments. Again, Lily Rose Depp goes a little too far with the histrionics.
Yes.
He is coming. He is coming for me. He is coming for me. Okay, we get it. He's coming for you. There's sexual connotations. Yeah. We get that. Okay, we get it.
Yeah, and Holt, usually I really like him. He was just kind of a milquetoast.
See, I thought he was better in this than he was in Juror Number 2. Juror Number 2, he was just nothing.
Yeah, and I kind of got more of the same from him in this one.
I thought he was better in this. I did. I thought he was better in this.
Yeah, other than Defoe, there was nothing there.
Okay, so there you go.
One positive for your Uncle Kev, and one negative for me.
Rare. Mark this down, kids. Because usually your Uncle Dave and I are simpatico, but this is one of those rare occurrences. A vast difference.
And usually if there's a difference, you're on the negative and I'm on the positive.
Yes, that is true. I am. But yeah, I really like Nosferatu.
Yeah, this one didn't hit for me.
Trailers. Before we move on to Moments of Silence. And by the way, kids, no dumbasses this week.
I know, right? Come on!
So
everybody's on their best behavior because as you're listening to this, the Oscars are tomorrow night.
I thought they're a week from
a week from tomorrow.
Yeah, I think they're a week from tomorrow.
Whatever. Yeah. Oscars are coming, so nobody wants to ruin their chances.
You still haven't watched any of the movies, have you? Didn't watch The Substance yet.
Not yet. We can't
Didn't
get
watch
it.
Conclave
Can't
yet.
get The Substance.
Didn't watch Conclave. You could get Conclave.
I have no desire.
I'm just telling you.
So,
I've watched 2.
So where did you get The Substance?
Maybe I bought it. If you would like to
Oh.
borrow it, I might let you borrow it. If you will return it within a month.
It will be less than a month.
Would you like to borrow it?
Could I borrow it?
You may borrow it.
Thank you.
All you have to do is ask.
I didn't know you had it.
I've got a lot of movies that you don't know about. Some you do.
Oh, wait, there's a closet.
David! You are supposed to tell people about the closet. That is sacred. Secret information. Only upon my death are you supposed to disclose what's in the closet.
You made the big deal of it.
Because you're the executor of my estate when I die. You have to know where the dirty little secrets are. And that's the one dirty little secret. And you just told everybody in the world where.
No, I think you just did.
God, and you want to borrow the substance from me? God.
Not that substance.
Well, then we're getting back into sports and Justin Tucker and massages.
That's just a whole thing. All right, trailers.
Couple interesting trailers this week. Clown in a cornfield.
What is this? It Meets Children of the
I was
Corn?
going to say, if art wasn't enough, by the way, I will have my review of Terrifier 3 coming in a couple weeks. Clown in a Cornfield, based on a book. I'm surprised you don't know this. A book that you can get at your local library.
I don't read everything.
But, yeah, kind of looks like Art the Clown, Pennywise,
Meets
in a
Children
cornfield.
of the Corn.
Yeah, a lot of blood. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
The Surfer looks interesting. Have you heard about The Surfer?
I have not.
Nicolas Cage.
Oh, God.
No, he's not in makeup like Longlegs, which, again, by the way, very, very disappointing. You can borrow that if you want.
No, I
have that.
I'm good.
No, you won't borrow that one. But you want the substance.
Well, yeah.
Because, yeah, a bunch of nudity. That's what you... Right?
Sure, we'll go with that.
I'm telling you, that's part of the appeal.
That's part of the charm.
Part of the appeal. But the Surfer actually looks very cool. The Surfer, Nicolas Cage, coming back after years. He's grown up, obviously, now. He's got his son with him. He wants to bring his son back to a beach in California where he grew up surfing.
Okay.
And of course, it's now been taken over by a bunch of bullies and people who have bought up all the area around this beach, and they're kind of dirty, disgusting, criminal people. And so he shows up with his son just wanting to
go surf,
and they start terrorizing him and his son and vandalizing his car and stealing his surfboard. And so it kind of turns into a vengeance type thing. So.
Oh, so Death Wish meets the Blue Wave.
Not bad. Not bad. I like that. Yeah.
Or whatever.
Point Break.
Point Break. Well,
Maybe.
no. Soul Surfer.
No, Soul Surfer is where she got her arm bit off. Yeah.
All right. Not quite Point Break because that's...
But they were surfers.
Well, yeah. Endless Summer.
Okay.
They just going from around the world following the waves.
I still think this has sleeper potential. Very good sleeper potential.
All right. Color me intrigued.
All right. As I mentioned, no dumbasses, so we're going to spend a few minutes here on a lot of moments of silence, and then we will bid you a fond adieu.
Roberta Flack.
Killing me softly with his song. Killing me
88.
softly. Yep, the great Roberta Flack.
So good.
Then we have this one I thought of for you, because I know this is a movie that you love a lot more than me. And I have to watch it again. I admit it, I have to watch it again. But the director of Gross Point Blank, George Armitage, passed away. And that's again one of those movies that it never connected with me. Never connected.
It's
with me.
one of those that it's either.
And I love John Cusack's movies.
Yeah.
Love them.
And Jeremy Piven. Minnie Driver.
Yep, Minnie Driver.
It's one of those where either it's going to hit or it's not.
No pun intended.
It's exactly
because it deals with a hitman.
Yeah, it's one of those where it's that polarizing movie. You love it or you don't.
Yeah. Now again, I should watch it again. Maybe perspective, time will change my views on it, but I just remember watching it the first time. I didn't do much for me.
Yeah. See, now it hit with me, and I loved it right from the beginning.
Robert John, the man who's responsible, his voice.
A wee-ma whack, a wee-ma whack, a wee-ma whack, a wee-ma whack. In the jungle, the mighty jungle.
The lion sleeps tonight. But bitterly for me, I'll always remember him as the man who did Sad Eyes. Sad eyes crying, and this song knocked the knack, My Sharona, out of the #1 spot. His historic run ended because of Robert John and Sad Eyes.
How sad
Arguably
is that?
one of the greatest songs of all time.
Not Sad Eyes.
No.
My Sharona.
Yes. But still, we will give our due to Robert John.
Yep.
I'm glad you came up first with a wee mo. People,
You gotta have fun
everybody is referring to him as the guy who sang Sad Eyes.
No, let's give The Lion Sleeps Tonight its
Yeah, I'm
credit.
like, come on, man.
Iconic.
John Lawler, most well known as the headmaster. Could be considered creepy, considering we're talking
at the
about
girls' school.
Yes, at
the
Facts of Life. Couple of great character actors, one male, one female. And now Dave and I always like to give our props to the great character actors.
Yes.
Peter Jason, who was in Deadwood and appeared in not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, but 7 different John Carpenter movies, including The Prince of Darkness and They Live.
Ah, so good.
This is one where you guys need to get out there online, look at the guy's face. You will immediately recognize him.
Yep.
But Peter Jason, one of the great character actors, including 48 Hours. The racist bartender.
Oh my God, yes.
The racist bartender in 48 Hours. Unfortunately passed away. And then, of course, you want to go old school and new school. Lynn Marie Stewart. Now, old school, Lynn Marie Stewart played Miss Yvonne on Pee-wee's Playhouse. New school, she was Charlie Day's mom on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. So.
Yep. And then, way too young, at the age of 39, Michelle Trachtenberg, actress from Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Gossip Girl suddenly passed away.
Yeah, 39. Unbelievable.
Way, way too young.
Chris Jasper. Now, by the last name, you would say, how is he a member of the Isley brothers? He was a brother-in-law.
Yes.
So, he was actually a very integral part of the Isley brothers. One of the greatest R&B acts of all time. And then this one's a little bit of a Hollywood insider one, but Roberto Orci, one of the most influential producers and writers of the last 3 decades, responsible for the Transformers movies, responsible for the last run of Star Trek movies. That's all him.
Yep.
Very, very, very influential, and he died very, very young as well. I believe he was only 51.
Yeah, just frightening.
Like we said, nothing last week, and then it all rains down this week.
It all happens at once, kids.
But then, that means no dumbasses for some reason.
I can't explain it other than they're on their best behavior
I don't know.
leading into the Oscars.
They're up there, and the god of stupidity says to the god of death, you take this week. I'm taking the week off.
I'm tired. I've had too many.
I'm taking a vacation this week.
I'm out, Jerry.
Well, we hope you had as much fun as we did. Because it's always fun doing the weekend edition. Dave and I will once again be back next week doing this. We've got a ton of new songs to review. We don't know what movie we're going to review. We're probably going to...
It could be a crapshoot.
Yep. Dave will still work on Landman. We'll have Tracker. We'll have Reacher. We'll have The White Lotus. We will review, as I said, Elimination Chamber, some WWE for you.
You gotta get into the Dark Winds.
I am working on it. I am. I will get Dark Winds caught up before season 3 starts.
Yeah, I know. That's one of those where I can watch it at night after Mrs. C goes to bed early because she gets up so much earlier. It's hard to get stuff watched together.
And like you said, I'm still not sure if the Oscars are this weekend or next weekend.
I think it might be next weekend.
But
regardless,
I will let him have the substance, kids. I will let him borrow the substance so he can
The movie! He
will at least be able to say he's watched one, since he won't watch Conclave. He will say he can watched one of the 10 movies nominated for Best Picture.
Because usually if they're nominated, they hold no interest at all for me.
Oh, this will hold interest for you.
It'll hold a lot of things.
Redeeming qualities. And the Oscar for redeeming qualities goes to
bum, bum, bum.
The Substance. My prediction is after Dave watches this movie, everybody's praising Demi Moore, he will fall in love with one Margaret Qualley.
I've heard she's very pretty.
The daughter of Andy McDowell. Now, my thing is, when I review this movie, and I'm going to be very interested to see what your Uncle Dave says, if they have altered for better or for worse for the story, for the movie. If they've made Demi Moore look worse physically and made Margaret Qualley look better, again, for the plot.
I will have to go back to find
Are you
the
gonna watch this with
article
your
that
wife?
I read. Jen wants to see this one.
Okay. I just don't know. I know you've been married for a long, long time, but I don't know how comfortable you are with the whole nudity stuff.
It doesn't matter.
Okay. Just checking.
Doesn't matter.
Is she going to stop the movie and go, what do you think of her boobs? What do you think of her? Is she prettier than me?
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Do you remember when Showgirls came out?
Oh, Showgirls was garbage.
Yeah, but
but that's different.
Yeah, but we went to see that in the theater, and the in-laws went with us.
Basic Instinct would be one. I think that would be a good measuring stick.
See, now that we've never watched that together.
Yeah, see, Basic Instinct would be one where
but
I would
then
say,
we went and we did go to see the, what was it, the Gray books.
Oh, the 50 Shades of Grey.
50 Shades.
Yeah, okay. You see, I got issues with that. Because you know what you're getting going in. There's no surprise factor.
At this point.
Now, can you sit down and watch a porno with her? That's the question. No, don't look at my closet. Don't you look at my closet, David.
We have not tried that yet.
See, that's a bridge over the River Kwai is what that is. That's a bridge too far.
That's a bridge too far.
Yeah, that will really test your relationship. Yeah. So, did you really think we were going to go here?
We've read letters.
The what?
We've read the Penthouse letters.
Well, okay. Then I give you credit for that.
So.
Wow. Okay,
we have done that.
Kudos. If you've done that, porn's just a
step away.
A little hop, skip over the lily pad.
That's right.
He's your Uncle Dave.
He's your Uncle Kev.
We hope you enjoyed this ridiculous, sexually oriented ending to the weekend edition.
Because we don't have any reputations to worry about.
And I guess, yeah, going back to the original Sports Frenzy, when we knew we were shutting it down the first time, and we delved into porn, the elder statesman said, I can't do this anymore because I have a reputation to protect. But at least we know next week we're getting a review of The Substance.
That's right.
From your Uncle Dave. But until then, say goodnight to the kids, Dave.
Good night to the kids, Dave.